All right, guys, happy Friday or whatever day it is. Today I want to share with you something that I think is going to be really fun for you. Maybe it'll be something you can do this weekend. We're going to learn about making fairy houses with nature. Um, Fairy houses can take many forms and can be created in many different places. What you want to do is find a quiet place away from the roads or busy pathways. Sometimes at the base of a tree, maybe if there's a tree with a hole in it or some roots that are sticking out, can be really clever. Oh, the side of a rock, on top of a stump. Sometimes people even use low tree branches or in a bush. You just want to kind of look for areas in the woods, beaches, in the meadow, or especially your own backyard is good. And then you're going to find materials that are lying on the ground. It could be rocks, pebbles, moss, sticks, anything goes. Nothing artificial. Some fairy houses are built to look almost hidden. So let's take a look. Miss Cohen and Mrs. Flutter and I decided that we didn't necessarily want you to feel that your house was specifically only for a fairy, because maybe you want it to be for a little troll or a little Lego person. You can make your house for anything, but it just so happens that that's what these are called. One of the most important rules when building a fairy or troll house is that you need to be respectful of plants that are growing. Try not to disturb plants that are still living, ferns, mosses, flowers. If there's something that you absolutely want to have, make sure you get permission to pick it from your parents, okay? All right. The philosophy behind the fairy house is just getting kids outside, and adults. Your parents might want to do this too. To appreciate nature and hopefully to come to feel the need to help protect nature and our environment. I know we just had Earth Day last week or 2 weeks ago. Building a fairy house is fun because it's just something to get you out of the house, out in the sun, whatever. It's fun because you get to use your imagination and enjoy the wonders of nature. So we're going to take a look at a bunch of fairy houses just so you can kind of envision and get a feel for what they look like. After that, you can head outside, make sure it's in a safe spot. You're going to want to search for things: sticks, pebbles, leaves, wood chips, feathers, anything like that. And then you want to find a spot outside that a fairy or a troll might like, okay? Let's take a look. That is really cool. I've seen these before. I've even seen them at Collins. Some of you might know what. I know that they're dried some sort of plant. I just don't know the name. One thing that I would like to point out is it seems like almost all of the fairy houses are built on some sort of a flat surface, platform, tree stump that's down to the ground, something like that. So that one's neat. This one's my favorite. I just really love how the sticks were woven. Now, in order to be able to do this, they're going to have to be quite pliable, bendable. I think that these are more bendable, and then the sticks they used for the roof look like they're older and not quite as bendable. And then they just use leaves, and they've got a front door. You can even see like a little doorknob there. But yeah, I really like that one. I believe that this fuzzy stuff is like milkweed from the pod. That is not always available, but whatever you have, I'm sure will be great. I think another thing I wanted to point out is a lot of these fairy houses are made, they include a ladder that are usually made with sticks. I'm not quite sure how they attached the rungs of the ladder, but I think they probably wove some grasses around. I don't think you're supposed to use glue. This one's really beautiful because luckily whoever built this found a tree, and I believe these might be some of the roots that have separated at the base of the tree, and maybe that's kind of a hole back there. Look at, you can see some pine cones. They've got like a neat pathway here, some rocks. These might be shells, I'm not sure. They've got a bunch of different size sticks. So your sticks don't always have to be all uniform or the same size. You will see in some of the houses though that they tried to collect sticks and then have them be about the same size. This one also has some really cool wildflowers. This one, I believe, this base here might be made from an old piece of driftwood. And then these look like some long wild grasses. And I'm not sure if these are shells or what down here. This one's really elaborate, lots of stones, and they really worked hard on getting a bunch of sticks, and most of them are uniform in size. Some little stones. They've got a front door, they've got a couple windows, they have a front porch, they've got trees. And even this thing in the background, I'm not quite sure if that's supposed to be a fence. Very clever. This looks like an old empty bee's nest. Remember not to disturb any living nature, and make sure you don't go near any bee's nests before talking with your parents about it, because you should always assume that there's still bees in there and you do not want to get stung. This is really neat. It looks like a castle. This looks like maybe a birch tree stump. I'm not sure, and I don't know if this is a hole or exactly what that is, but look at, they've got this, I think they call it dental work. It's not dental as in teeth, but it's just sort of a design. They've got their flags. They probably have a moat. This looks like a teepee or a wigwam. There's a doorway, and I don't know if that's a ladder, or I'm not quite sure. This picture's a little out of focus. This next one is really unique. Look at that roof. I don't know if these are little pebbles, and this picture is also a little blurry. I can see a little ladder there, and it looks like a doorway. And not only do they have this roof, but they've also got a chimney, so that's quite clever. I think this one might be my second favorite, maybe my first. You can see kind of front porch steps. They've got a porch. Looks like they have some little knickknacks there. I like how they utilize these acorns. They probably used, it looks like I can see some little sticks underneath these leaves, and then I don't know how they attached, if those are acorns, and there's some right here too. But you're gonna have to try to get really clever as far as attaching things. Let's check out another one. That one, they had a lot of materials that they found lying around. There's leaves and maybe shells and sticks, and I don't know if this is a tree bark that they peeled off of something. It looks kind of thin. I don't know if these are sticks or acorns, but they had a lot of fun there. This one's quite special. It looks like it's kind of up on a platform, and they've got some old moss, and they've got an old branch that's a little thicker, it looks like here. I don't know if this is supposed to be a hammock, but they've got these appear to be like little plates. That's really clever. I don't know if this is supposed to be a painting or a picture window or what, but this one's really neat too. And then last, I really like that one too. It's quite delicate. They've got a table, and it looks like a bed. And I'm not sure what these are. Maybe you might be able to tell. I even think that these are supposed to be like artwork on the wall, and they found two wildflowers for their paintings. And it looks like feathers. And notice again that they built this on some sort of a platform. You're probably getting kind of excited now. Now that you know all about these fairy houses, troll or Lego person, whatever you want yours to be, you probably can't wait to get outside and build. Just remember when you go out there to respect nature. Don't pick anything that is alive and growing unless you absolutely have to have something. And then again, you must get permission. You can make your house alone, or you could do it with your brother or your sister, and it doesn't just have to be a second grader. This is a kind of a fun project. Um, Maybe your parents or your grandparents might be interested. You could build one together, or you could build maybe next door to each other. Mrs. Flutter, Miss Cohen, and I, we cannot wait to see your creations. Don't forget like little pebbles or rocks too, but just be careful, don't throw them at anyone. All right, well, I hope that you have a wonderful weekend and that you have great success building your fairy house. Make sure that you take your time. I think that if you rush this, you might be disappointed in your end product. I think if you kind of plan out how you're going to attach your materials, I think you'll feel really proud of what you did. All right, well, have fun and have a wonderful weekend.